Iran is free from sanctions and ready to set sail. What is the potential for economic partnership between Korea and Iran? A new economical and convenient technology for making thin film transistors, a key part of displays and sensors. The startup story of 3.14, creator of the ever-changing paper toy Kamibot. Imported fruit is often marked with a series of numbers. Just what do they mean and what are they used for? Find out more on today's Bizline.
With international sanctions on Iran recently lifted, economic players from around the world are converging on the newly opened market. Iran's $1 trillion market is turning into a huge center of global interest as it makes its return. Will Korea rise above the competition to generate a second Middle East boom? President Park Geun-hye will visit Iran on May 1st, the first for a Korean president since the establishing of ties in 1962. She will be accompanied by the largest economic delegation ever in the hopes of establishing an export market in Iran. Korea and Iran have had long-held bilateral ties since October 23, 1962. At one point, Iran was Korea's largest trading partner in the Middle East. Even when the oil shock hit Korea hard in the 1970s, the crisis was overcome as 1 million Korean workers were sent to Iran for construction projects. Exports to Iran rose steadily to surpass $6 billion a year until international sanctions on the country began in 2011. Trade was hugely hit with total exports dropping to $3.7 billion last year. However, Iran reached a landmark denuclearization deal in the beginning of the year. This once again opened up its market for new opportunities. Iran is the largest consumer market in the Middle East and North African region with a population of 80 million. The country is also an energy powerhouse which sits on the world's fourth largest crude oil reserves and second largest natural gas reserves. Moreover, 60% of its population is under the age of 30, meaning that the economy has huge potential for growth. This is why countries are rushing to be the first ones in the new land of opportunities with over $1 trillion of purchasing power.
Iran is an oil-rich country, but at the same time, Iran has very solid and sound manufacturing sector, which is a very unique feature. So, for us and for the world economy, Iran is a unique economic partner because Iran has oil, but at the same time, very diversified economic structure.
As many large infrastructure projects are expected in Iran as it comes out of sanctions, a boon is expected for the construction sector. President Park's visit to Iran coincides with large Korean construction companies reaping the results of their plant and infrastructure projects in Iran worth over $17 billion. GSENC expects new business opportunities in areas where investment has been hindered by sanctions. These include the modernization of oil refining plants, expansion of petrochemical production facilities, roads, high-speed railways, and power generation facilities.
GS건설은 이란 시장의 특성에 맞게 현재 내부적으로 시장 재진출을 위해서 준비 중에 있습니다. 예를 들어 이란 시장은 현재 국가 재정이 부족한 관계로 계약자의 금융을 동반한 사업이 많이 발주되고 있는 추세입니다. 저희도 내부적으로 입찰 프로젝트뿐만 아니라 금융을 동반하고 투자를 할 수 있는 프로젝트 개발에 역점을 두고 있습니다.
Apart from construction, major industries such as steelmaking, automobiles, and shipbuilding are all looking to Iran for some much-needed business. Moreover, with the strong Korean wave in Iran helping create a positive image for the country, great opportunities exist for the culture industry as well. Haesung Manufacturing is an exporter of chairs for cultural events and performances to Russia, Southeast Asia, and Japan. It expects demand for cultural spaces to grow in a sanctions-free Iran and is preparing to enter the market. CEO Kim Jin-chul, who attended high school in Iran, revisited the country in February, his first time in 43 years. He saw how much the market had changed and saw potential there intuitively.
사람들의 얼굴이 너무 환하고 미소 띈 것을 보고 진짜 잠재력이 큰 나라구나 하는 것을 느꼈습니다. 굉장히 좀 개방된 느낌을 많이 느꼈고 이 나라가 경제 제재 속에서도 어떤 내수의 큰 시장을 기반으로 많이 발전을 했구나 하는 것을 느꼈습니다. 한국 제품에 대한 인식이 굉장히 높습니다. 어떤 디자인 측면이라든가 어떤 뭐 가격면이라든가 이런 것도 굉장히 높고 특히 그 어떤 한류에 대한 그 성원이 굉장히 좋은 것 같습니다.
Korea's small and medium enterprises with a wealth of expertise and experience in various fields are expected to play a leading role in the second Middle Eastern boom.
Before the sanction went tougher, there are 2,000 some Korean small and medium-sized companies. They're active, but they were forced to leave the Iranian economy, but now they are really ready to jump into or return to the Iranian economy.
The lifting of sanctions has been great news for Iran itself more than any other country. Rapid growth is expected not just in the energy industry, but the tourism industry as well. The World Bank projects that Iran's economy will grow 5.8% in 2016 and 6.7% in 2017. Iran has experienced Korean technology in the past through active economic relations and thus holds great hopes for Korean companies as well. President Park's Iran visit is expected to open the gates to even more active exchange between the two countries.
이란의 인구가 8천만 명 정도로 중동에서 가장 많이 있고 또 국내 산업 중에서는 자동차를 생산할 정도로 제조 기반도 갖추고 있기 때문에 현재 시장 개방을 통해서 해외 자금이나 기술이 들어간다면 이란이라는 국가가 중동에서 좀 또렷이 성장하는 산유국으로 부상할 것으로 기대되고 있습니다.
Korea and Iran are long-standing partners who enjoyed close economic ties in the past. Both nations are now looking forward to taking the partnership to the next level based on mutual benefit and cooperation.
Display panels are central to the ever-present electronic devices in our lives. As displays continue to evolve rapidly, a new technology to manufacture thin-film transistors economically and efficiently is drawing attention. One key area of development in electronic devices such as smartphones and TVs is in its displays. Displays are becoming thinner, wearable, and higher in resolution. Leading IT companies have been competing with thinner and sharper displays at major exhibitions, each with their own technological edge. Deeper within, these displays share one common element. It is none other than the thin-film transistor, one of the most common semiconductor devices.
매우 얇은 층을 띠고 있는 트랜지스터로서 현재 상용화된 LCD나 OLED, LED 등 디스플레이에 사용되고 있습니다. 디스플레이에 이렇게 백플레인에 위치를 해서 방막 트랜지스터가 스위칭 역할을 통해서 전기적 신호를 광학 신호로 변환시켜 빛을 온오프하는 역할을 하고 있으며 디스플레이의 성능, 즉 해상도나 선명도 이런 것들을 결정짓는 데 좌우하는 매우 중요한 역할을 합니다.
The thin-film transistor is an electronic device that directly affects the clarity of the display by controlling the brightness of pixels. As it is composed of a thin film, it is a must for the development of high-resolution wearable devices. Recently, a Korean research team made headlines by developing a low-cost and simple technology to manufacture thin-film transistors.
이번 연구는 나노 입자로 제작된 방막 트랜지스터 소자에 대한 연구 결과입니다. 간단하고 비용이 낮은 용해 공정으로 전도체나 반도체 그리고 절연체 특성을 갖는 다양한 방막을 제작할 수가 있습니다. 이렇게 제작된 방막은 산업에서 사용하고 있는 최적화된 방막 공정에 적용되어 패터닝 그리고 적층 공정을 거쳐 방막 트랜지스터를 구현할 수 있었습니다.
Until now, thin film transistors had to be manufactured in a vacuum using complicated processes and costly equipment. This ultimately drove up production costs.
진공 증착법이란 이렇게 커다란 챔버 안에 금속 혹은 반도체의 소스가 있고 고온이나 에너지 등을 가해서 원소를 기화시키는 역할을 합니다. 금속이나 절연체나 반도체 모두 진공 장비를 이용해서 만들어야 되고 하나의 트랜지스터를 만들기 위해서 여러 층을 쌓고 도핑 등을 하려면 고진공의 장비를 매우 여러 번 써야 하기 때문에 고온 그리고 고진공, 복잡한 공정 과정을 겪게 됩니다.
The researchers decide to work with nanometal particles in liquid form to manufacture thin film transistors more conveniently. The nanoparticles that are 100,000th of a hair strand are dissolved in a solution and layered onto a substrate. Nanoparticles of silver, aluminum oxide, and other metals are dropped onto the substrate one by one and spun around. The liquid spreads into a thin layer due to centrifugal force and thus forming the layer. This process called spin coating is a key point to this technology.
최근에는 상대적으로 경제성이 높은 용액 공정의 개발과 또 용액 공정이 가능한 소재의 개발에 대한 많은 연구가 진행되고 있습니다. 스핀 코팅이란 균일한 층의 방막을 제조하는 값싸고 또 빠른 방법 중 하나입니다. 또 용액을 방막 위에서 고속으로 회전시켜 원심력을 이용해서 균일한 방막을 형성할 수가 있습니다.
More importantly, the researchers solved the problem of electrical resistivity in solution-based thin films. For electricity to flow, the particles have to be packed closely together. By dipping the spin-coated substrate in a specific chemical solution, the researchers successfully narrowed the spaces between particles and verified that the thin film was indeed conductive.
일반적으로 합성된 나노 입자 표면에는 절연성의 두꺼운 유기 리간드가 존재합니다. 여기서 리간드라고 하는 것은 나노 입자 표면에 결합하고 있는 분자나 이온을 뜻합니다. 하지만 이러한 두꺼운 유기 리간드의 존재로 인해서 나노 입자 사이에는 어느 정도의 물리적 거리가 존재하게 됩니다. 이는 나노 입자 간의 전하 이동을 방해하게 됩니다. 따라서 이 두꺼운 유기 리간드를 짧은 리간드로 교환하여 나노 입자 간의 거리를 줄이는 이런 화학적 처리가 필요합니다.
According to a market research company, the global display market is expected to continue steady growth to reach $183.3 billion in 2019. If the Korean technology is adopted by the industry, the time and cost required for producing thin film transistors could be cut in half. This breakthrough in core technology is expected to contribute greatly to the development of the display market.
기존의 진공 긴장으로 제작된 전자 소자에 비해 50% 이하의 그 비용을 절감할 수 있을 것이라고 판단하고 있습니다. 또 연속 공정이 가능하기 때문에 공정 속도를 증대시킬 수가 있습니다. 스마트폰, LCD TV 그리고 다양한 정보통신 기기에 적용이 가능할 것이라고 예상하고 있습니다. 또 향후에는 쉬워지는 전자 소자, 더 나아가서 옷에 차고 붙일 수 있는 이 웨어러블 전자 소자 개발에 크게 기여할 수 있을 것이라고 판단하고 있습니다.
This breakthrough technology for making thin film transistors may not be visible in our daily lives. However, thanks to it, we may soon be able to see flexible displays and wearable computers at a more affordable price.
The smart toy market has seen many new products based on innovative ideas and technologies. One Korean startup has incorporated the traditional art of papercraft into a smart toy. Meet 3.14, the team behind the world's first programmable paper robot. Fold, cut, and paste pieces of paper, and you'll have a paper toy character ready in no time. This is much like the paper folding we all enjoyed as a kid, but there's more to it. The toy starts to spin its head and moves on its own. This is Kamibot, a customizable paper robot developed by 3.14.
장난감들 이전에는 그 만들어져 있는 장난감을 이제 그냥 사용만 했다면 사용자들이 자기가 원하는 형태로 변경을 할 수도 있고 캐릭터를 또 동작도 자기가 직접 변경해서 사용할 수 있는 좀 사용자를 위한 이제 커스터마이징이 가능한 그런 장난감이라고 저희는 추구를 하고 있습니다. 네.
Kamibot is essentially a combination of a small cylinder-shaped robot and a creative Papercraft skin. Users can download and print free templates available online, put together a Papercraft skin, and place it over the robot. They can also download a blank template and design their own creative character.
부모님들이 장난감을 사주면 뭐 길게는 한 달, 두 달 이렇게 가는데 금방 질려해서 또 부모님들이 장난감을 사줘야 되는 그런 부담들이 생기지 않습니까? 근데 저희 카미봇 같은 경우는 로봇 하나 사놓고 그때 유행하는 뭐 뽀로로나 아니면 그 다음에 라바가 유행했다 이러면 종이 캐릭터만 변경을 해주면 아이들이 이제 새로운 장난감이 생기는 형태가 돼서 그런 부분이 또 더 큰 장점이라고 생각합니다.
The robot uses infrared sensors to follow a black line on the ground and relies on ultrasonic sensors to avoid obstacles. Kids can remotely control the robot through a smartphone app, which is designed to offer speed and rotation control. It also allows users to change the color of the robot's LEDs. These features can be customized through programming.
처음에는 그 아이들이 좋아하는 공룡 형태의 이제 페이퍼 토이에 회로를 붙여서 이제 전도성 테이프로 붙여서 만들 수 있게 하는 카미카미라는 제품을 만들었습니다. 그래서 그 제품을 이제 전시해 나가고 기업 사용자들한테 피드백을 들어보니까 좀 움직이는 형태의 제품을 더 원하셔서 저희가 그 카미카미보다는 좀 로봇 형태의 제품이 좋겠다 해서 이제 카미봇으로 변경을 하게 되었습니다.
The company made continuous efforts to bring variety to paper skins. It teamed up with popular cartoon creators to introduce familiar characters, as well as developing a whole new character of its own.
So when we design the Papercrafts for the robots, we first have to think about how the characters are going to conform to the robot. So shape, basic shape. So our robot is cylindrical and short, so conforming the characters to the robot can sometimes be a little difficult.
3.14 unveiled Kamibot at internationally renowned trade shows like MWC and CES, laying the groundwork for overseas expansion. It is currently taking pre-orders for Kamibot on Kickstarter.
국내뿐만 아니라 중국에서도 지금 아동 산업이 제일 크게 각광받고 있고 가장 경쟁력이 있는 제품입니다. 원래 다 아시겠지만 가구에서 가장 소득 맨 마지막 줄이는 게 학원비라고 하잖아요. 그만큼 아동에 대한 투자는 많이 되고 있습니다. 물론 그 안에 장난감도 있고 교육 콘텐츠도 있고 많이 있습니다. 그래서 제가 볼 때는 카미봇 같은 경우는 아주 좋은 상황에 있는 것 같아요. 거기서 이제 조금 더 경쟁력이 높이 있는 부분이 필요한데 그 콘텐츠를 조금 더 높인다든지 그리고 놀이를 통해서 교육할 수 있는 방법 이런 것들이 좀 필요하지 않나라는 생각이 들고요.
The global education toy market is showing a steady growth of 3.1% every year. In particular, demand for creative smart toys is soaring. In response, 3.14 is seeking to collaborate with schools to use Kamibot for improved classroom learning.
필드 테스트를 소프트웨어 선도학교에서 하고 있는 상태고 그래서 아이들은 이제 반응이 좋습니다. 저희 거의 이제 최대의 장점은 그냥 공부를 한다고 생각하면 재미가 없을 수도 있는데 아이들이 로봇을 보면 또 일단 좋아합니다. 1단계가. 그런데 거기에다가 자기들이 좋아하는 캐릭터가 씌어 있다, 라바가 있다 이러면 아이들이 이제 더 좋아하고 집중할 수 있는 형태로 이제 반응이 오더라고요.
At the moment, coding is implemented on the PC platform only. Chip plans to develop a simplified, easy-to-access programming tool that would allow even a 5-year-old to code.
종이와 로봇 또는 종이와 전자가 융합해서 모든 것을 만들 수 있는 형태의 제품들을 만들려고 생각하고 있습니다. 그래서 카미봇의 후속작들은 드론이 될 수도 있고 종이를 접어서 비행기를 만들면 스마트폰으로 컨트롤 가능하고 직접 프로그래밍을 할 수 있고 이런 사용자들이 커스터마이징 할 수 있는 계속적으로 그리고 공유할 수 있는 그런 이제 장난감 스마트 토이를 계속적 만들어 나갈 예정입니다.
3.14 carefully combined Papercraft and a programmable robot to make coding fun. We look forward to seeing it reaching its goal of reinventing programming education.
I've got a question for you. How often do you go grocery shopping?
I guess about once a week, I think.
You probably pass them without even noticing, but certain items we purchase at supermarkets have special codes.
Really? What type of items?
Now, I've got you curious, right?
Yes.
Well, InfoStation has the answer for you. What is the first thing you see when you enter a supermarket?
Let me think. The colorful fresh fruit?
Exactly. Now, there are familiar fruits like oranges and bananas, but there are also exotic ones, like ones imported from other countries.
바나나, 오렌지를 찾고 있습니다. 저는 주로 망고를 주로 구입하는 편입니다.
Sure, I'm a big fan of imported fruits myself. But wait, you were saying something about the codes. I mean, do fruits have anything to do with these codes?
They sure do. Now take a real close look at the fruits.
Wait. Oh, I see little stickers. Look, the stickers, they're everywhere.
Okay, they're called price lookup or PLU codes, and they contain information about practices used to grow that particular produce item.
Oh, so you mean like growing practices. That's interesting.
A code beginning with a 3 or 4 means the fruit is probably conventionally grown, meaning it's using pesticides or chemical fertilizers.
Oh, look at these bananas. So the same fruits can start with a different number, but I really can't tell the difference between the two based on their appearance. Can you?
Well, a 5-digit number that starts with a 9 means the item is organic.
Oh, that explains a slightly higher price.
Now, can you find any item that starts with an 8?
That's strange. I've looked everywhere, but nothing begins with an 8.
Well, let me explain that for you. Now, code starting with an 8 means the item is genetically modified, but the code has never been actually used.
I guess from now on, I'd better look at those stickers carefully before buying fruits. Wait, hang on a second. What's that code? It's on the shampoo bottle and also on the food container.
Hey, good for you. That's the second coding system we're going to look at.
Well, let me guess. It shows how the product is made?
That is a good guess, but not exactly. It's the resin identification code introduced by the Society of the Plastics Industry. Basically, it stands for the type of plastic used to make the container.
But the numbers are all different.
Let's start off with the number 1. Now, it means the product is made out of polyethylene terephthalate, or PET. Number 2 is actually found in water bottles, baby bottles, and cooking oil containers. Number 4 plastics are water resistant and offer an ideal coating for disposable paper cups. And number 5 plastics can withstand high temperatures. You can sterilize them in boiling water.
Wow, I had no idea those numbers on plastic containers contained so much information. Who knew?
Yes, but there's more. Numbers 6 and 7 is typically found in disposable containers that are sensitive to heat. Now you want to make sure to avoid placing hot food in these containers or microwaving them.
I think you skipped number 3. What does that stand for?
Very good. Now, number 3 plastics are mostly used for cling wrap, but there's one more thing you need to check here.
And what's that?
Plastic wrap is available for households or business use. Household plastic wrap is microwave safe, but it's not safe to use plastic wrap that is intended for business use in the microwave. So please make sure to check the label.
I had no idea the codes we come across every day had so much information behind them.
Well, you know what they say, knowledge is power. So just keep these tips in mind the next time you go grocery shopping and be a smart consumer.
Well, that wraps up today's Info Station and our walk through the secrets behind codes.
On next week's Bizline, entertainment companies expand with new business ventures. Games meet virtual and augmented reality to open a new era of 3D. All B, a wearable device for infants to monitor their health in real time. Korea has become a leading consumer of coffee worldwide. Get in on the coffee buzz. Find out on next week's Bizline.